And when I think about the sauna, right, there are benefits, I've read all these studies, right? Cardiovascular, cortisol levels, right? That's very attached to our stress response in our body.
The reason why I use my sauna every day is for my mental clarity, my mental health. I feel better.
Yeah.
I'm in a better mood. I have more energy. I can think more clearly. And that's kind of like one of those benefits that we get from saunas that just people don't talk about as much, but it's pronounced. Welcome to the Sweat Fanatic podcast. I'm your host, Eric Kralovitz on the Sweat Fanatic, and today we have a special guest who I met at the Minnesota State Fair, and her name is Sierra Blake, and she is the founder of St. Lucie Sauna Serum. So welcome to the podcast, Sierra. How are you?
I'm good. It's St. Lucie. I know
Lucie.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm so great. I'm happy to be here. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course, I'm known to mispronounce everything, so I get made fun of a lot, but everybody.
But yeah, no, I'm super happy to be here. It was great to meet you at the state fair, our state's pride and joy.
The biggest state fair in the country.
Yes.
Texas tries and act like they are, but they're not. They're just open for longer days. So Minnesota gets the most per day.
Yes, that's right. But yeah, so super excited to be here.
So what made you stop into the booth? You just saw saunas and you're like, oh my God, I love saunas.
Yes, pretty much. Exactly, right? Like, was, at the state fair as a good Minnesotan, and noticed your guys' setup, and I'm like, oh, I have to go over there and chat with somebody. So yeah, it was great to meet you. I spoke to some other folks that work with you, and it was nice to chat. Yeah, I've been kind of in the sauna world now for probably since about 2021, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. And you've been using saunas your whole life, like you said, right?
Yeah, so I kind of grew up doing it with my family. And then, I was like kind of looking back on pictures of me just in various travels, like going to Colorado and stuff like that. And I'm like swimming in rivers or like dunking myself in, lakes and stuff. And I'm like, I didn't, I guess I was cold plunging, but didn't really know that's what I was doing. So yeah, and then kind of as an adult, I got into it as it kind of was growing in popularity here in Minnesota. Uh, I would say in about 2021, which is also when I was in graduate school for mental health. So I was getting a master's degree in mental health at that time and got very, very interested in and kind of absorbed with the research aspect behind sauna and cold plunge. And so that's how I started, right? I started like that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you went to school, so you deal with mental health patients, is that what you said?
Yeah, so I got my degree in mental health. I do still see some patients. Um, and yeah, I love it. It's really great. And I really love what I loved about um the sauna and cold plunge practice is that it's this really we talk a lot about holistic wellness, right? We talk a lot about holistic wellness, and we talk about it in mental health too. And so what does that mean, right? It means we're taking care of the body, the mind, the spirit, all together as one thing. And so in working with mental health, right, we're thinking a lot about what's happening cognitively for folks. But it's really embodied, and healing, I think, is really embodied as well, right?
Yeah.
So all of these kind of interests and passions have led me to kind of where I am at now. Yeah.
So what did you go to school for?
Mental health.
Mental
Yeah.
health? Okay.
The degree is integrated behavioral health, but
Yeah.
mental health.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. And so how long have you been doing that? Since 2021?
Well, I graduated from grad school in this past May.
Oh, nice. Well,
Yes.
congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, thank you. So I had worked at in the mental health space in different roles previous to going to grad school, so it wasn't brand new to me. And now I kind of am a Jane of all trades, I guess. So I see a couple clients in a clinic. I also teach in the psychology department at a college
Oh,
in
wow.
Minneapolis. Yeah.
That's cool. Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I do. I do really like it. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, my partner, she sees some of the worst OCD patients in the world, and she works at a mental health facility. So I appreciate
Yeah.
what you do, and we definitely need people like you to take care of us out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot more mental disorders and issues that people are going through that I think not as many people know about them. We need people like you to help us through that stuff. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you. And thank you to your wife. Yeah, I kind of thinking about how it relates to sauna, right?
Yeah.
Is that and what about it is interesting to me is that it feels like an antidote to this kind of separateness or this loneliness that has been kind of pervasive that people are talking about, right? That we're living in this hyper digital age, right? And there's a desire for this real, genuine connection, this in person, right? Like
Yeah.
kind of stuff in a place where you can't bring your phone because if you bring your phone, it'll like, overheat or whatever,
Mhm.
you know? And so, yeah, these things, the mental health aspect, the research, and the community part of it, to me, are so important and are so,
Mhm.
so connected, and I mean, I love to see it. I think it's great, yeah.
And I was excited to have you on because I think the mental health aspect of sauna use and cold plunging, I think it's undervalued. It's not talked about as much as it should be because we all know there's a ton of health benefits that go with sauna use and cold plunging, like reducing inflammation, our immune system, skin health, heart health, all that type of stuff. And people use the saunas and get the benefits, and that's great, and we all need those. But at the end of the day, for me, the reason why I use my sauna every day is for my mental clarity, my mental health. I feel better.
Yeah.
I'm in a better mood. I have more energy. I can think more clearly. And that's kind of like one of those benefits that we get from saunas that just people don't talk about as much, but it's pronounced for me. Yeah, I think we can use saunas and cold plunges a lot more for something to help with maybe depression patients, anxiety, stuff like that, kind of calm us down, relax us. And it's when I use the sauna, it's like I feel like I went for a long run mentally, and it's like the runner's high, right? Same hormones and endorphins that our body releases. So, are you starting to see in your field of work with mental health saunas and cold plunges being brought up a lot more than they used to?
Yes, yes, and I think they're for good reason, right? A lot of people are, interested in, practices that are full body, right? Like, we know that exercise, for example, has really great and proven mental health benefits. We know that it can be very, very helpful with anxiety, depression, all that kind of stuff, right? We know that this holistic way of looking at health and whether that is physical health or mental health, I mean, to me, they're very closely tied, right?
Right.
And, we know that. So and when I think about, ways of providing a healing space for that or an antidote for maybe some depression, maybe some anxiety, a big part of that, I think, is social connection.
Yeah.
And when I think about the sauna, right, there are benefits, I've read all these studies, right? Cardiovascular, cortisol levels, right? That's very
Mhm.
attached to our stress response in our body, right? And how, your amygdala fires and
Mhm.
you feel that, like I always explain anxiety, for example, like the symptoms of anxiety are very embodied, right? A lot of people report racing heart, feeling sweaty, so
Yep.
like your sense of where you're at emotionally is can be a physical feeling. And so having, more conversation about integrative treatment methods where we're talking about sauna, cold plunge, we're talking about nutrition, we're talking about exercise, right? We're talking about all these different
Hmm.
ways to provide some relief, right? I think is brilliant and I welcome it, right? With open arms. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're definitely seeing a lot more people look for more natural ways of healing the body and
Mhm.
improving our health and wellness. Like you said, nutrition, sleep, exercise, saunas versus just the traditional way of surgery, medicine, that type of stuff. And
Mhm.
now, do you recommend sauna use to just general patients if they say like I have this disorder? Do you say, hey, you should probably try a sauna, or do you kind of take it as a case by case process with each patient?
I mean, everybody's different, right? Everybody's
Mhm.
so different. So, what may work for somebody else may not work for another person.
Yeah.
So it is very individualized, and I love that about the work that I do, that I can really take the time to get to know somebody, what they like, what they are interested in, what they want to try, what they're don't really want to try.
Hmm.
So it's definitely a case by case basis. There is some really interesting research being done at a lab out in San Francisco by psychologist. Her name is Dr. Ashley Mason, and she's published some really interesting research about depression and heat, right?
Hmm.
She's, working on a bunch of sauna studies, and her work is very, very compelling and interesting. And I think it just, sets a stage for more and more to be looked into and to be, studied and researched about how can this be used in like Western medicine setting. But it's
Hmm.
also a very ancient practice that has roots in Japan, Turkey, Finland, obviously,
Hmm.
that people have been doing for so long. And I think that's an important aspect of it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of it with Scandinavia and places like that, it was just part of their culture that it was
Mhm.
just they grew up doing it. They did feel good. It was like a community gathering. Every Sunday we take a sauna bath or whatnot. And now with the more modern research and tools that we can study and measure things, that it seems like every year more and more health benefits keep getting put out there, or we get more research that makes the established research even stronger. And it's because of the tools that we can do to measure it and
Mhm.
study it. What are some of the conditions that what are some of the reasons you would tell people to use a sauna for certain benefits?
I mean, all the ones that you listed, right? As
Mhm.
I've gone through, so I wrote a whole literature review about all the studies.
Nice.
I did it in 2024, so I'm sure there's more now, but yeah, so I went through and really interesting to see what they're finding about how, Alzheimer's disease
Yep.
was one. Yeah, have you seen that one? That I
Yeah, it's
thought was
huge.
how interesting was that? Yeah, I just thought, wow, that's such a um it's just not something that would immediately come to mind as a potential benefit, right? I'm like, yeah,
Mhm.
cardiovascular, that makes sense. I feel my heart racing. But I thought the Alzheimer's disease study was very, very interesting. I recommend it to everybody. I recommend it to mom. I recommend it to my grandma. I'm like, you guys,
Yep.
to just go sit in there. And
Do they
yeah,
tell you
just
to stop bringing up the sauna at the holiday parties all the time?
like, Sierra, we get it. You like it. Yeah, we
It's
know. Yeah.
it's funny. I was just at my grandpa goes to Florida every winter and he's leaving in the next week or so. So we had a party with my family with my grandpa this past Sunday. And it's funny, my cousin and his wife says to me, like, well, so you sell a lot of saunas? Yeah, we sell a lot of saunas. What are the health benefits of it? And I look over at my wife and I'm like, I can't get into a full blown pitch at my so
Do not ask me.
yes, exactly. Thankfully she recognized why I was looking at her and she just took over and went through the benefits of it because I rattle this stuff off all day, every day, and I love it.
Yeah. You're
But
like, "I'm fun at parties, I swear. I swear."
yeah, for sure.
I know.
And
Same, yeah.
but what's cool about my wife is she uses the sauna either every night or every morning, depending on the day. So she uses it just as much as me. If I would say, if not more. I mean, she's actually been sweating longer than me because she's been doing hot yoga forever. But she uses the sauna
Cool.
all the time. So we power couple when it comes to sweating and saunas for sure.
Love
But
that, yeah.
she can
And
rattle
it's
off the benefits as good as I can.
Yes, he's like, "Hey, I know." Well, it's such
Mhm.
a cool thing to do together, right? Like, I love what I'm seeing just with the market, how all these events are really community focused, and it's about bringing people together, and they're kind of fostering these real, I mean, IRL, right,
Mhm.
experiences of connection and getting to know people. I mean, the sauna gym that I go to, like, I have made genuine friends there that I get coffee with and get lunch with, and, I think it's when I think about my favorite part of it, right, I'm glad, all the research is really, really interesting, and, of course, I love it because I love to nerd out on
Mhm.
it, but what I really love too is that social and connective aspect and the ability to pause, unplug, and to really be kind of in the space where you are,
Yeah.
right? With people that maybe you wouldn't have ever met otherwise, and who knows what will come out of that, right? Like, you meet your new friend or
Mhm.
and so that is probably my favorite part
Yeah.
of kind of watching this culture bloom here.
Yeah, I had a podcast with Milwaukee Hive, and they do sauna and cold plunge events in the Milwaukee area, and they schedule them every so often. And they talked about how one of the biggest benefits of it is the community gathering of meeting new people, forming new relationships and friends, and having people to talk to and have something in common. And the friendship and being able to talk to somebody goes a long way in our mental health as well.
Yes. Yes.
There's places like that popping up all over the place. And from you being part of the sauna community, how have you kind of seen the sauna market shift in a way?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's super interesting, right? I'm kind of watching it unfold here in the United States, but also in the EU and the UK, right? So
Mm,
tons of mobile sauna units or sauna or bathhouses popping up all over Ireland, Scotland. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of coming down, right, from the Nordic countries and really kind of just exploding in popularity, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, and it's sort of surprising that it's happening now and not like 2,000 years ago, but I don't know, whatever.
mm.
But happy to be here, right? And in the United States, yeah, I mean, it is, I would say, even in the last, I mean, definitely, after COVID 2020 is when it started kind of taking off. And then last winter, you saw it really kind of get a lot of attention. And then now, I think going into the sauna season now, the high season, uh, this winter is going to be big. And
Mhm.
more facilities are being built right now or opening, scheduled to open, even in the spring.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah. I mean, if you look at the market research, I mean, the wellness industry in general is just on an upward trajectory, but sauna and bathhouses in particular is valued at, I don't even, hundreds of billions of dollars or
Mhm.
whatever in the next 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
huge. And every year it gets more and more popular
Mhm.
and more. I'm always talking to what new wellness centers, chiropractors, massage therapists, holistic healthy living. people that are looking to put a sauna in their facility to help treat their patients and for people to use it and get the benefits of it. So, and then athletes, I think professional athletes are really have come around to it. They've been doing it for a while, but I think they've been using them mostly at facilities. If I'm a football player, I'm using it at my NFL facility, where now they're looking. I mean, we get I get so many calls every single week of more and more professional athletes that need to put one in their house and to help with their muscle recovery, their joint and tissue recovery, and their cardio system.
Sure.
So, now how about let's talk about your personal sauna use. So how often do you like to use a sauna?
Probably 3, 4 times a week, I like to. I don't have one at my house, cry, but
Mhm.
maybe soon. So I go somewhere, but, what I like about going somewhere is that I get to meet and chat with people that I wouldn't necessarily, right?
Mhm.
So I do like that part of it. So I probably do that, yeah, about 3 or 4 times a week, and I've been doing that for my gosh, a number of years. I like when I go out of town to try and find
Oh,
some
that's the best.
yeah, some cool thing, And so, yeah, I've had some cool experiences through that. But yeah, I mean, it's been really great. Yeah, I mean, I genuinely enjoy it. I do also feel like I sleep great.
Mhm.
I remember the first time. Do you remember the first time you did a sauna?
Yeah, yeah, I do. It was well, I mean, I was young. My grandparents had a old wood fire outside, and we jump in the
Yeah.
snow, jump in the lake. But at that time, I was before puberty. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like, I feel like it's once you get after puberty and you become like an adult, then you start to really notice how much better you feel. And then I probably got back into it, I would say about 11 years ago.
Okay, yeah, okay, well, you're so right, because I don't remember the first time ever, I guess,
Mhm.
but I remember the first time as an adult, and I went and I did a cold plunge outside, and it was, like, slightly snowing, and I was like, "This is, like, magical," you know? And I went home and I slept, I mean,
Mhm.
I just about had the best sleep of my life, and I felt amazing. And yeah, that's sort of, and then, fast forward like 3 years and now I'm
Yep, exactly. Now you're in the world.
yeah, but yeah, so yeah, I mean, I would love that was kind of the inspiration behind like why I started the brand, right?
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Can you say the name of your company again?
St. Lucie.
St. Lucie. St. Lucie
Yeah.
Sauna Serum.
Yes.
Perfect. And you're
Yes.
based out of Minnesota?
Yes, we're based out of Minnesota. I mean, I was born and raised here, so I did live for a number of years down in Florida, which is actually home to St. Lucie County, where family that lives there, and I lived there for a long time, and they are very famous for their grapefruit and orange groves.
Okay.
And there is grapefruit essential oil in the sauna serum, and that's
Is
one of
that
the
how
fun
you
facts.
came to that name?
Yeah. Hmm. Yep.
No.
So it's like has family origins. Yeah, my grandpa lived there and we used to walk around the orange groves and grapefruit groves and pick them.
So, do you remember the moment that when it came to you that you wanted to start a sauna serum company?
Yes, actually I do.
Mm. Mhm.
I was at the sauna and cold plunge gym and I was putting something in my hair because I was noticing that my hair was getting so dry, and I was putting something in my hair, and I was trying a bunch of different stuff. I didn't really like the way it smelled, or maybe it smelled too strong in the sauna, or I didn't really like the way it was feeling, and I'm like, "What should I do?" Like,
Mhm.
and I was talking to other people, and they're like, "What do you put in your hair? Because mine's dry." And I'm like, "Well, I'm trying this, I'm trying that," And then I thought, "Why doesn't something like this exist?" And then, of course, like anyone, I thought, "I'm gonna make it."
Yeah. There you go.
And so I did, yeah, and, I really so sort of this evolution, right, from this very intense, like, research world where I was really interested in kind of all the science behind it and was writing and reading all of this stuff and, talking to all these really brilliant, researchers and scientists about it, and then it just kinda struck me like, "Huh, something like this should exist, you know? Why couldn't I try it?" And so then I really dove into that, like, all the research behind different herbs and oils and combinations of those that work really well together for skin and hair, enhance this moment of, peace, relaxation, uh, and make it kind of like a moment of, self-care really,
Mm-hmm.
and that was kinda the driving force behind what started it.
Awesome. So let's back up a little bit. So what is the product? What is it made out of? And then when do I use it? Do I use it before I go in the sauna, after the sauna? And then how do I use it? What do I put it on?
Yes. So it is 6 ingredients. It's jojoba, rosehip, sunflower oils, rosemary extract, and then grapefruit and clary sage essential oils. And that's in there, right? So super simple product, but really packed full of vitamins, antioxidants, and purposely chosen with jojoba and rosehip because they are quite light oils, and so they soak
Okay.
in quickly and they don't sit greasy on the skin, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and scented with essential oils because of it's a subtle kind of earthy, grounding scent because strong scents in the sauna are a little overwhelming. They, can be the heat can make them even
Oh
stronger.
yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, so I was very purposeful about that, and so, yeah, you use it on your hair and on your skin, it works for both. What I do is I put it before I go in, I put it on my hair, and I put it kinda on my face, my hands, my arms, and there's kind of like a personal aromatherapy aspect to it as well, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
go in and the steam kinda opens the pores up, it soaks in, super good for your skin, super good for your hair. Kind of adds something a little
Yeah.
luxurious to your session, yeah.
So it essentially kind of moisturizes our skin and our hair, keeps it
Mhm.
versus drying it out. So how long have you been doing this?
Well, I started the company, my gosh, I think I filed for, my business license, like, had to be the summer of 2024, I believe.
Okay.
And I was, yep, I remember doing it. I was sitting in my backyard and I was like, "Should I do this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Is this crazy? I'm gonna do
Yeah.
it." And
And
yeah.
how long have you personally been using your serum? Since you started, or were you using it a little bit before?
Well, a little before I was
Yeah.
trying out a bunch of stuff, I'm like, "Do I like this?" And then I tried coconut oil kinda based, like, stuff, and I'm like, "Ah, I want it to be lighter," you know? So I was
Mhm.
trying out a bunch of stuff. I really love jojoba oil just, myself. Like, it's just my favorite oil. I think it mimics the natural sebum in our skin, so
Okay.
our skin is really easily absorbs it, and it works super well with rosehip oil, and combine them, and they are like can just sink in super deeply and really moisturize. And so, yeah, a lot of people too actually tell me that they use it after as well,
Mhm.
and put it on their face, because they've come out and they feel a little bit tight.
Yeah.
So it helps to kind of moisturize that and, give that post sauna glow, as
Yeah.
we say.
Awesome. Yep.
Yeah.
So where did would you sell it online? And you got some it's in some stores in, you say, Ireland, Scotland, England?
It's in one store in Scotland right now,
Okay.
but I think we are up to about 11 states. We are in a bunch of stores in Minnesota here, a place, Alabama, Colorado, Florida, Michigan, Massachusetts, Montana, New Jersey, Oregon, Texas, Utah, Wisconsin. Um, yeah, and continuing to add to that list, which
How
is,
how did you end up in Europe? Did you know somebody over there?
well, I know her now, I guess.
How did you
But like
connect?
I said, I mean, gosh, I probably social media or something, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's really exploding over there, right?
That's awesome.
So it's more and more becoming more and more kind of common, right? And I actually went
Mhm.
over to Scotland this summer and Ireland and just, meeting and chatting with people. And they're like, yeah, I went to a sauna yesterday with my sister or whatever. It's so awesome. Like they're just popping up all over here. And I was like, totally. It's the same thing happening for us, like, yeah, like how cool is this? And so yeah, it was a really great experience. But yeah, that one store over there, maybe, who knows what the future holds? I don't know. Hopefully one day, right? Yeah.
Yep. So back to your sauna sessions. What is
Mhm.
your how long do you typically like to use the sauna when you're in it?
Like rounds.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I usually do 10 minutes in the sauna.
Mhm.
And then I like to sit in the cold, probably for like, honestly, until I feel like I don't want to be in there anymore.
Yeah.
I like to do uh just kind of based on feel, right? Where I'm like, am I feeling too overheated and too hot and
Mhm.
feeling like it's time to get out? It's been about 15 minutes, then I'm gonna get out. And then I like to sit in the cold plunge, and I really like the cold plunge. It really is, and it has some interesting connections to different therapy techniques. If you don't mind me nerding out for a
Yes,
second.
let's nerd out.
Yeah, okay. So there's a behavioral therapy called DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, and one of the practices that DBT uses is to hold ice or to take a cold shower. Temperature in general can be used to kind of help with emotional regulation, feelings of anxiety, all that
Mhm.
stuff. And so it's interesting to me as a, mental health professional that the cold water immersion, right? What people talk about, your heart rate slows,
Mhm.
right? After the initial panic,
Yep. Yep.
right? Your heart rate slows down and you're able to more regulate that feeling of being fearful, scared, right? I'm doing this, like, your heart rate kind of shoots up and then you're able to kind of calm down. And so this is just my personal hypothesis, right? I don't believe there's any published studies that looked at that specifically, but I'm just noticing the connection there, right?
Yep.
Between already like long-standing kind of mental health techniques and how this practice may fit with those.
Have you used the infrared sauna before?
Mhm.
It how do you
Yeah.
how do you enjoy it?
I like it. I like it. It's a little bit cooler. I wouldn't say cooler, but
Mhm.
it's about 160, 180, right?
Mhm.
So it's at a lower temperature, which is nice. I went to one and I sat in there for like, I mean, I don't know, 20 minutes, something. Like you
Mhm.
can just kind of sit for a little bit longer as opposed to if you're up at 200 degrees sometimes,
Yeah. Yeah,
15 minutes, you're like, yeah.
and that's kinda what I like. That's why I prefer infrared. I love them all. They're all great for us, but I like using the infrared because I can stay in there longer. I end up getting a much longer sweat, and I feel like I get more endorphins released, and then it doesn't kick me out right away. And I'll use my best friend's wood-fired sauna out in his backyard, and we'll get it up to 210 degrees, and I love it, and I'll go back and forth from the cold plunge into the sauna. and I feel fantastic. But with the infrared, I typically like to just do one longer session from the get-go, and then I'll get out and do the cold shock therapy, and then I'll go on with my day. So I think we get more of a cardiovascular workout being in the infrared sauna a little bit longer, and it kind of sustains that higher elevated heart rate while we're in there. And it's kind of more like going for a long run, where the traditional sauna kind of kicks us out a little bit sooner than the infrared. But there's fantastic cardiovascular benefits to both. And at the end of the day, just get in there, get in a sauna and start sweating buckets, and you're going to feel better. You're going to get great health benefits.
Yeah, I was at a talk with researchers. This was probably last year, and gosh, his name was Dr. Anthony. Can't think of his last name, but he is over in England, and he studies exercise physiology. And what he said was, "What sauna is the best? Whichever one you like the most."
Yep.
Because he gave a really interesting answer to because if you enjoy it, you'll do it more. That's if you like it, if you like it, you'll just do it more, and then you'll get more benefits from it, right? And
Yep.
I love that. I love that. I'm like, absolutely, right? If you know, I can't even think, but if I had to go eat like 100 pounds of bubble gum or something, I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm not
Exactly.
gonna do it. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about, Sierra?
Yes. So, super exciting news from the St. Lucie world is that we have a brand new, exciting design for our bottles. So, we redid the label recently. I don't know if you can see
Nice.
her.
That looks awesome.
Thank you.
Did you
Yes.
design that?
No, I know my strength is in this is not one of them. Yeah.
Me neither.
Yeah, but that's okay. But so yeah, we upgraded the sun and we're super excited about it. And we're gonna be coming out with some, other exciting, fun little merch ideas soon as well. And so yeah, super excited about sauna season. Happy
Awesome.
sweating to
Yeah.
all.
Awesome. Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thanks for coming on. If I wanted to buy your product, where could I buy it at?
Yeah. Well, you can buy it in person at any of the stores listed on our website. They're all right there. And all the dates I
What's your
mentioned.
website?
Our website is shopstlucie.com. And Lucie is spelled Lucie. So, yeah. And then our Instagram is the same. It's at Shop St. Lucie, all one word. And yeah, come hang out.
Yeah. Well, I recommend everybody to go to the website and buy it and try it. And I've heard fantastic reviews about it. And I haven't had a chance to use it myself, but I'm going to get some myself. And then I'll maybe have you back on to talk about the benefits that I've received from your sauna serum.
I would love that. That would be awesome.
All right. Perfect. Well, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. And that's it for this episode of the Sweat Fanatic podcast. And stay tuned for more episodes coming out every other week. And until next time, get out there and sweat.